want to talk about Carry the Vision, and I want to thank you for being here with us. And perhaps, Dolores, you could just say a few words about what carrying on the vision of nonviolence can mean in our lives and in the world.
Well, we know that in our world today, we almost have a culture of violence, and it's accepted and it's promoted and it's profit making for many people, whether it be in terms of war, whether it be in terms of hate speech, so that some people can have power over others. And so, Carry the Vision is a conference that where people can come together and they can share ideas and practices about how to combat this whole culture of violence that we are living in today's world. And we know that people's natures are not violent to begin with, that violence is something that is taught and it's behavioral, and that it can be changed. And so Carry the Vision brings together the leaders of this community here in Santa Clara County so that we can share and say, this is how we can change it. And it's not difficult. It's not hard. It takes commitment. It takes learning. It takes listening. And, we are all one family, one human family. And we know that if we can somehow combat the culture of violence here
Yes.
in Santa Clara, in our United States of America, then we can also bring it to the rest of the world.
We can. Thank you. And I just want to comment a little bit on what you said about, we are not naturally violent. A baby is not violent, but, children learn violence in our culture growing up. And so if we want a nonviolent culture, if we want a culture of peace, we have to educate for nonviolence. And this is what we do here, bringing people together on different religions, different governmental organizations, nonprofits, education. It's a wonderful gathering of people from many different parts of the community. But what I found is it was easy to bring them together around this common concern of how do we build a nonviolent community. And this is, of course, the work you've been doing for years, which is building communities from the ground up.
And I think that on that note, so one part is the education and the other part is the organization. And this is why this conference is so important, because as people share the practices that they have in their own organizations, they can share these with others so that then we can, spread it, and then we could make it grow, and we can make it practical and make it easy for people to learn these behaviors and practices. Because we know it's not easy, because even with young people, if someone talks about nonviolence, they're made fun of. If men who want to be more caring, they're made fun of, So we've got to somehow say this is not only acceptable, but this has got to be a priority in everybody's lives. It's got to be something that we expect people to act in a civil way, in a nonviolent way. And if we can do it with our communities, then we can do it with our representatives, be it in the Congress or the city councils or school boards or whatever. We've got to say, no, this is a priority.
Yeah.
Bullying is wrong, you know what I mean? Meditation is great.
Yeah.
Conflict resolution is something that we can all learn.
Yeah.
But these are practices that we have to institute them so that they become institutionalized.
Yes. And I think that you were mentioning how people don't understand nonviolence. They make fun of it. They think it's a weakness. But what we can do in terms of sharing, our experiences and the wealth of knowledge and experience from people here is understanding that nonviolence draws on the power of truth and the power of love within us. It's not a passive injunction. I mean, I can't say that to you because you know it better than anyone, that nonviolence is not passivity, it's power.
Yes, it's active, like of course in the Indian word that Gandhi said, it's an active word in the Indian language. It's not, nonviolence is an active word, it's not a passive word. But it's more than that. I think it's a discipline.
Yes.
It's a discipline, whether it be fasting, for nonviolence, whether it be withholding one's anger, being able to turn that anger into a positive energy, whether it be the discipline in the way that we eat, in terms of vegetarianism to respecting animal life, in the way that we eat, knowing that we don't need to slaughter animals to be able to be healthy. We can be
Right.
healthy without killing animals,
Yes.
and on and on. I think and that once people understand that these behaviors are okay and that they can practice them and people won't make fun of them, and you'll be looked at as a sissy
Right.
or whatever,
Right.
and then people have healthier lives, not only physically but mentally. And I think
Yes.
that's exactly where we have to start up here first, because if people believe that nonviolence is a power, then once that they have that belief, then they can then act upon that belief.
Yes, thank you very much. And of course, that's the beautiful example that you and Cesar gave us here, that many of us are so familiar with, of how to turn that self-discipline into a power that could actually change a situation where people were being treated unfairly. So always I bow to you, Dolores, and I'm so grateful that you're here with us.
Thank you, and I bow to you for having this conference and for your total commitment to nonviolence and to teaching it to other people, because I think that's a great thing that you do with these conferences that you have every year.